Hi, I'm Splashes, and welcome to Minecraft Maniacs 5. Today, we try and fix the creeper farm. There's a couple things that I've sort of realized, and we're going to have to convert this into just a normal mob farm minus the spiders. The trapdoor trick does not appear to work on this server, and there was a bug in 1.13 which caused this, and I guess this server still has that bug. Uh, but that's fine because the bones from skeletons will be useful, as well as the rotten flesh from zombies is useful, trading it to villagers to get emeralds. Also, I've noticed that this system here isn't actually designed correctly. So the idea here is that when this chest fills up, the system recognizes that it's full and turns the system off. Downside is, or the oversight here, is that if I pull stuff out of this chest down here, the system still thinks it's full because this chest doesn't drop stuff down into lower chests. So I'll just have to put a chest on top of these hoppers here and have the stuff come in, drop into this top chest, and then have this comparator read off that top chest, so then it distributes down to those chests. So if someone takes stuff out of the chest, it will recognize that the system is no longer full and to power the system back on. So I'm going to have to redesign that. I'm also going to have to put in item filters, since we will now not just be processing gunpowder, as well as we will get a bunch of random items that we don't really care about, so we'll have to create a disposal system for them in order to reduce lag in the number of entities. I've also had a realization in a dream last night about how I could improve the redstone system, because we have 4 of these little shafts that go all the way down to bedrock from here. This one's for the ladder, that one's used for the item transport, and this one over here we use for the timing system. But this one isn't used, and we have a decoder on every single level, which makes the redstone very, very complicated and very difficult to all put together. But if we use one of these as a down timer and one of them as an up timer, then the system becomes a lot more easy, and we only need a single decoder up here. And it means the redstone down there will be very simple, basically just run a wire around, power those pistons, run a wire around, and power the pistons that would be up here if this weren't the top maintenance level. So that should be a lot easier for us to be able to set up the redstone, should be a lot more efficient with how much redstone we use, and it should generate a lot less lag of the amount of lighting updates we have to make with all the various redstone signals popping all over the place, all of which are good things, and it should be a heck of a lot simpler to make, because those redstone contraptions down below, well, they were very fun to make, they were very difficult, they were very expensive, and they took a very long time. Also, I've gone ahead and cleared out the floor here from when I had made it flat and then later made it on into a bowl, which does give us a little more space, though some people might say it looks ugly. But other than that, I think the first thing I'm going to try and do is go ahead and fix up this storage system. So up here, I still only really care about the sugarcane and the gunpowder, because this is where we're going to be making the rockets. The other stuff, which would be the bones and the rotten flesh and the iron, and maybe with the occasional bit of redstone or glowstone we might get from killing a witch, we will put down into other chests that will probably be down into the maintenance area, because those items will be eventually be distributed somewhere else in the ecology system. Though for now we can just go down into the maintenance area and pick this stuff up if we need it. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and try and get this upper system working and putting in all of the filter systems, so that way we don't wind up with random stuff in gunpowder chests and gunpowder and random other chests, since that's not really something we want. So I will be back soon, Bye. Oh, that's amazing. Just do this. Oops. Oh shit! No! Heck. I fell through the floor.
Oh. Did you die?
A little bit.
Oh no.
In the game. And inside.
Oh.
Okay, turn off. Huh. Oh god, nope, that's
Oh
not.
no.
What the heck is
Oh
happening?
no.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
Okay. Can we make that repeatable? I don't know how to fix that. I guess we need to do some more work. Okay, I think I have an idea. You can stop. Oh god, what's happening? What? Did you just run it again?
I accidentally clicked it twice more at the end. So
Okay, because it fired like 17 times. Okay, I think I have an idea though. We'll just have to rearrange this a little bit. Well, there's the two gunpowder I needed. So, I guess we'll call that pennies from heaven. A big old jet airliner. Don't carry me too far away. Oh. So I've gotten a lot of work done, and it took a very long time. But I have the new storage system hooked up. Can I run? I guess not. Okay, no running for me. So I have the new storage system hooked up with the filter here. So this will filter out gunpowder for us. If we check in here, we can see that we have the filter set up. And then for the stuff that isn't the gunpowder, we'll flow along into here. And if we bounce up a little bit, we can see that this stuff then flows down into here and would go down to the maintenance area. I've also gone ahead and hooked up this GUI here, so we can use this to turn the system on and off. I tried to figure out some way that I could make it that you wouldn't be able to change the state of the system status if the system ready wasn't on, to doofus proof it. But I wasn't able to figure out how to do that. This light will come on if the gunpowder chests read themselves as full, since the gunpowder is the primary thing that we are concerned with. If the other chests fill up first, which they most likely will, I don't care, because that's not as important as the gunpowder here. So if we come up here, you can sort of see this mess of redstone signals going down. The system full and the system ready signals travel upwards, though the system status signal needs to travel downwards. So for the downward traveling signal, we use what's called a redstone cascade. Or what I read was called a redstone cascade, at least. Which is this thing right here. but I do believe I have all the redstone stuff set up, and it is quite complicated. We did adjust the systems so then we would have two columns, or two data columns. So a data column that tells the system to turn off, and a data column that tells the system to turn on, which means our decoder is up here. And our decoder actually wound up being a fair bit simpler up here. It's actually just this. We just have an inverter. That's it. Since that thing is always, or that switch up there is always putting out power. So the different colors mean different things. The cyan refers to basically the system power, the system status. The blue is for the system ready, and the yellow is for system full, and pink is for the system clock. So basically down here we have a bunch of AND gates. And before these AND gates were connected, but now they're not connected because I wasn't able to get the system to work correctly. So if these two things, or if both of these things have the item in them, then this AND gate will be on, which sends the signal up there and powers the system ready light. This is the other AND gate we have, and if this is on, which is the power, as well as connecting to the another redstone cascade down here, which connects over to here for system full powers. So if both of these are true, that the system is not full and the system is powered, then this light comes on, and then it runs into this rather complicated looking circuit here. And this circuit here is basically just to doofus proof it. So if someone goes ahead and spams the on-off switch, it doesn't break the whole system most of the time. Yeah, it's actually gotten a lot better from when we first started trying to doofus proof it. But this here is a comparator, or small comparator clock, which basically just, once the signal starts, it takes a couple seconds for it to turn off. And part of that is to make sure if you're just taking out little bits of gunpowder, the system doesn't start freaking out and turning on and off really quickly. Which is also why this signal here is connected to this clock and not directly to this side, which we had tried earlier before I realized that problem. And this thing here is just to prevent, because it takes a little bit for the signal to get around this thing to be held constant, that you could pump the piston a number of times. So this one with the 3 tick delay is just to account for it going here, since you have 1 tick, 2 tick, because you have 2 ticks of delay here, and you can't really tick it faster than 1 tick pulse, I think. Some will probably show me that they can and break my whole system, because that's what people do. And so this has the 3 tick delay, so that way, even if you do a 1 tick pulse, the moment you pull the power out of here, the power goes into here, and the piston doesn't withdraw. This one just uses a simple 1 tick pulse system to then power these down pistons, as well as it comes up over the top, which unfortunately this area is not very navigable, because there's a lot of redstone everywhere. So it sends a pulse. So it also triggers over here, which connects to the clock, but the clock also connects to the power stuff, which probably is confusing. But this then runs over here, and you have 2 things that generate 1 tick pulses over there, so it just fires the dispenser once. And originally I didn't have those 1 tick pulses, but I found that if you had those 1 tick, or if you didn't have the pulses, and this system remained powered, this hopper wouldn't gather the items, so you have to make sure that your system is unpowered, which is why we have the 1 tick pulses. But it does mean that we do at least have a, oh, there's a block right there. We do at least have a relatively simple decoder. Over here we have a clock that's relatively simple. This is just an, I think it's called an RS Norlatch clock. And I have 32, I just have 32 cobblestone in there. So it takes 15, 20 seconds or so. And then I wanted to be able to stop the clock because moving items back and forth through hoppers does cause some lag. So when the system is not in operation, I wanted to be able to shut off the clock, and that is what this does here. So when the clock is running, or when the system is on, this piston is retracted. But once the system is off, this piston extends, which puts the redstone block right here, and this blocks this hopper. So the stuff will still empty into this hopper, but it won't go back. But what that also means is in the off position, this will always be off. And this clock here connects to our observer stack right here, which we'll use to trigger and untrigger the vaulter. But what this lets us do is, because this one will always be off, we can set this that this will always return to an off state. So when the system is off, we won't have all the water running everywhere, and we won't have any mobs spawning. So hopefully it should not create many problems at all. Hopefully. Please. I haven't tested it yet, so... or finished building the rest of the things. Now, up here, we have the rest of the sorting system. So, the items flow down from there, go around a couple corners, and then they come over to here, and then they pass over a bunch of these hoppers, which all have filters attached to them. And I've gone ahead and labeled them. You can see the boxes for bones and rotten flesh is a lot smaller than, or are a lot smaller than the gunpowder storage, but that's fine. We don't need nearly as many bones and rotten flesh as we do gunpowder, as well as we have some for other unique items or other items of interest that can be dropped. And from here, this stuff all flows off and flows into this little hole here, which I will eventually put lava in, but so it will instantly destroy the items. But first I want to just leave it empty like that as we're testing things and building things in case someone dies and all our stuff goes into the system, because none of our stuff will be picked up by any of these filters and it'll just be spat right out into the lava, and I'd rather not lose all of my nice stuff. So the redstone up here is pretty complicated and messy, and it took a very long time, but on the other side, the redstone down below is much, much simpler. Also, you can see I tried a number of times to figure out where exactly this floor was supposed to be, and it took me quite a few attempts to get things in the right spot. Okay, so here's the yellow level, and I'm going to show you some before and after pictures, because it's kind of crazy. And this is all it is now, because we don't have the complicated decoder. Okay, so I ran the farm for about an hour, and I believe I have created the most complicated and least efficient farm ever. In an hour, I got 27 gunpowder. Actually, it was closer to an hour 15. So I get somewhere between 1 gunpowder every 2 or 3 minutes. Now there are some more drops down there, and unfortunately this thing is still spawning spiders. So we will have to clear that out at some point by making all the stuff a little bit narrower like it was supposed to be in the original case. But, yeah. So, that needs some work yet still. Also, I learned that, or not learned, the one thing we will need to do is, there's a lot of spawnable space up here, and there's probably a fair bit of spawnable caves down below. So at some point, Hybrid and I will, from the center, basically just go around in 128 blocks in each direction and just clear out with tunnels to just completely mob proof the whole area, so hopefully no mobs will spawn except for inside of our farm. Also, I've apparently been tagged. So there's apparently a game of tag going on, so I guess I need to find someone else to tag, though there do not appear to be any rules as to what's going on. And lastly, one of the players on the server nag that is building or redoing the nether hub to be a proper nether hub, and he's going to need a lot of nethervert, and he's going to need a lot of nether brick. So we're gonna fill up the sugar box with a bunch of nether brick, and we've gone ahead and repaired our pick and our axe, so we should be good to go. But I think for now, that will be it. Next time, well, I'm going to gather lots of... Oh wait, I wanted to tag somebody. I'll tag him next episode. Bye bye.